Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Nazia?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hawa, I'm very well, alhamdulillah.
It's so lovely to have you in studio today. Thank you so much for joining me.
And Jazakallah for having me here. I'm honored to be here.
Nazia, can you take us through your story? Give us some background and insight into who is Nazia Saley.
Okay. So I'm Nazia Saley, emotional healing therapist and a transformational and mindset coach. So my story actually started when I had just given birth to my son, and I went through a lot of I at the time had postnatal depression, which I don't think I realized it, but also I think I didn't want to acknowledge that was what was wrong with me, because I think in our community it was as like it's something that there's something wrong with you, or you're weak and
or
things like that. Yeah, it's overlooked. And what had happened was I had got in touch with a friend who had told me that there was just a workshop that's happening, and I actually didn't know what it was, but I think just to get out, because I was not feeling okay at well, and I said, okay, I'm just going to join it with her. And that was the turning point in my life. Firstly, the acknowledgement that this was that I finally realized, okay, I understand what is wrong with me. And then also realizing that this is what I want to do. So that's how I started this journey to emotional healing, firstly with my own healing, and then realizing this is my passion, this is my purpose, this is what I want to give back or be of service to other women as well, is to show them that there is a way to heal and, to get out of this.
That's so beautiful. So how many years have you been doing emotional healing?
So for my own journey, I've been on this for about now 18 years. Mm-hmm. But, seeing clients and things like and all of that is now about 13 years that I'm doing this.
And prior to that, what was your life like?
So prior to that, I was in corporate. In my 20s, I was working. I was in corporate. I was, that was what I was doing, at the time. So it was a big shift. Mm-hmm. So that's why when my son was born, I was working for a few years, and then when I got married and when I felt pregnant and my son was born, I decided, I want to stay at home. I want to be a mom at home. Yeah. However, it's not always the way you expect it to be. And also, we all have this thing in our mind that, as a mother, you want to be at home, you want to be with your children, you want to be present. Mm-hmm. Totally the opposite. Yeah. So that's,
So baby blues changed your life?
Yes. No, definitely. My babies did change my life. At the time, obviously, I didn't realize it, but I truly believe life happens for you. And, all the incidents that happened prior to me being here has brought me to this point. So, you understand it now, but at the time, I definitely didn't understand the journey.
So how do you channel the pain into purpose?
Okay, that's really interesting that you're saying that. Like I mentioned before, I love by the statement of life happens for you and not to you. Okay. And, we know that in life, painful things are going to happen in life. We know that this world is like that. It's a test. It's a test. It's going to be a challenge for all of us. So the most important thing, I think, is that a lot of us, we get stuck into what's happening in our mind. It's the stories that we actually make up in our mind. Mm-hmm. So pain happens, yes. Life is going to happen. Pain is going to happen. There's going to be deaths. There's going to be sorrow. There is going to be challenges in life. We know that is what this world is. The only place I think you're ever going to really find true ease is in Jannat. Yes. But also at the same time, we don't have to suffer, So I think it's important that when we understand that statement of life happens for you, not to you. So when the pain happens or when something is happening to you, so if I could just use my own story. So when I went through that depression at the time, it was really, really painful because I was actually going through it alone. But now I understand that I had to go through that in order for me to find my purpose. Mm-hmm. If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I think it's important for us to understand, and it's not everything is temporary. Yes. Only basically our soul is permanent. Everything is temporary. So whatever it is you're going through, it's not a permanent thing. Yes. It might feel like it at that time, but it's not permanent.
Okay. And what do you wish the people around you, like I know I have a friend when she tells me she just feels so sad and so down, I don't have the correct words for her. So what is it that you wish the people around you knew how to handle your depression or support you in that time?
You know, I think for me, the most important thing was just to have the support, not for me, for anybody to even tell me anything or give me any advice. It's just to be there, you know, and maybe just to guide me through the process. That's probably what a listening ear.
Yes.
I don't think we understand how important that is, to actually be able to listen to somebody, to give them that hearing and then just guide them through it. Because the truth is, actually, we all have the answers. All of us have the answers. We just need somebody to maybe show us that, you know what, that you can find the answers yourself, but you need somebody just to be there with you. Now, often what I find in our communities is that either they don't know how to deal with it, so they'll just ignore what is happening to you, you know, whoever it is. Sometimes it's our own spouses, sometimes it's our parents. That's the one thing, is that they'll try and ignore the situation. Then otherwise they'll tell you, no, there's nothing wrong with you, you know, just get up and you just need to be positive, which I understand. Yes, I mean, that's where we want to get to you. But in order for you to get to that point, you have to embrace and you have to acknowledge what you are feeling at the time.
So the importance of embracing all your emotions and forgiveness. I know you mentioned that to me. How important is that?
You know, with regards to embracing emotions, I like to always refer to the Rumi's poem of the guest house. You know, he explains it so beautiful that every emotion that comes, it's like a guest coming to a guest house. So if you have a guest house today, you know, somebody's going to come, tomorrow somebody else. So any emotion that's coming right now, welcome it. That's actually what we need to do. Now, unfortunately, in our society, or rather in our culture, we have been taught just to either stuff everything down, or we try to escape from it or ignore it. And that is not solving the problem, because after a while, it manifests into other things. It then manifests into depression or anxiety, or even then like physical illnesses. So embracing emotions is so important. And, you know, I feel like for us, we need to learn this. So we have to unlearn everything that we've been taught, but more so even for the generations to come, for our children, to make them understand that to embrace your emotions, to feel your emotions, there's absolutely nothing wrong. It's important for you to be able to do that, so that you make way for then the joy and the happiness and all of that, but we have to embrace it. And with regards to forgiveness, so I just want to mention one very important point with forgiveness is that, you know, sometimes when we say to forgive, we have this, people like to say, no, forgive and forget. No, it's not forgiving and forgetting. When you forgive, it doesn't mean you forget what happened to you. It doesn't mean you condone what the other person did. But forgiveness, yes, is for yourself, so you don't have to carry that baggage around with you. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you're going to condone whatever that person did, you know, especially if it was really hurtful. Or, I mean, if you take a case also, if you say forgiving somebody who has been abused, you can't say to go back to that person. You can't forget it, but you're going to learn. So you forgive and learn. You forgive and set boundaries. So forgiveness, yes, is very important, but I think there's that misconception that we need to change from forgive to forget, to say forgive and learn, or forgive and set boundaries, you know. So I think that's really important.
Another topic that you specialize in is letting go of shame and post-trauma. How do you let go of that exactly?
Okay, you know, shame is also something I think us, and mostly as women, I think we hold on to that a lot. So the reason why I'm so also passionate about this is because in my own journey, I had to learn to let go a lot of shame. And I think as women, we hold on to a lot, right? Because I think it's just taught to us, or maybe we just take it in. So there's so much of shame that we hold on. If you're not the right size, you're not the right color, you know, as daughters, as children, we take that on. Then as you're getting older, then it's if you're not married at a certain time, or then if you can't have a child, or if you're divorced. So we always have this shame within us that it's something wrong with me. So I feel like it's really, really important that, and actually that's my thing. I want to spread the message to women that it's so important to let go of the shame. You are not, you do not have to identify. You are not that person. You are a pure soul. But if you are a person who's divorced or you can't have children, there's no use in holding on to that shame and you feeling bad about it. So it's so important to be able to differentiate between the two. And ultimately, a lot of the things that we actually hold on to is not ours to hold on.
Yes.
We've actually taken that on from our parents who have that notion, that cultural stigma, of you have to have a child at a certain age and you can't be divorced and your janaza must come out from that home or whatever it is. And then also the thing with weight, you have to be a certain size, you have to be a certain color. That's probably from, even post-apartheid when it came with all of the colors.
Social media doesn't make
And
it
social
easier.
media, yes, definitely for the young people today, social media, when it comes to appearance, when it comes to weight, that is really a struggle. So we have to understand that our worth shouldn't be defined by the way you look or by the circumstances and the situations that you're going through. That is not who you are. That's just something that's happened to you.
Yes.
It's like, so for example, if you're a person who maybe struggles with weight, like myself, which was a struggle for me for years, and so and you identify as that because I am a fat person. That's how you people tell you that, and that's what you identify as, and it affects your confidence. You don't want to take part in things. You don't want to do things. Yet, and another thing is that where they say that because if you're fat, you're not healthy. Which is not always the case.
Yes, sometimes it's a health issue.
It's a health issue, or it's not even a health issue. Sometimes it's just your birth is different to someone else. And that really affected me, and that affected my self-confidence and my self-worth in school, where I wouldn't want to take part in anything, do anything, so it held me back. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I realize now when I have a daughter and I see her, I don't want her to go through the same thing. So I do believe it just takes one person to break that pattern, to break that cultural cycle. So inshallah, that we don't have to carry it over, to firstly heal ourselves, and then inshallah it doesn't carry over to others as well.
Ameen. And how do you identify anxieties and depression in young, small kids, and what are the tools to help them through it?
It's actually so scary. I don't know what it is, whether it's because of social media or because it's of the pressures of school or what it is, but I'm seeing such an increase in young people, especially girls from the ages of 10, 11, till the teenagers, and as boys as well, the anxiety that they're getting, the things that are happening, that they are doing to themselves because of this anxiety, because of this depression. So I think the most important thing, and what I like to use with my clients, is to make them understand that their worth, again, is not based on comparing yourself to others, is not based on their achievements. It's not based, on all external factors. They have to accept themselves internally, and they have to. And also, what I notice is that there is that need for perfection.
Yes,
that's making them very anxious, because if they get things wrong, or if they make a mistake, they can't handle it.
Yes.
And that is also causing a lot of anxiety, causing a lot of depression. That's what I'm finding a lot. What the struggles with the youth today is that. And then also with regards to appearance, it's actually scary how many young people, they want to actually change the way that they look. So I'm finding that also to be an issue with young people today. So how they can handle it, I think the most important thing, I think, and I do see that from parents, is that yes, they do want to bring their kids for help. But I also, realize that parents also need to, it starts with us.
Yes.
It definitely starts with us. We have to make the change. So inshallah, if they see how we are, if they see we have that need for perfectionism, if they see, we're too hard on them, or we want that achievement from them, then that they carry that anxiety with them because they don't want to disappoint us. But if we change, inshallah, that I think it's the first step, is that as much as I know parents have this, all parents, are they worried about their kids? They want to send them for therapy or whatever it is. But I think it's important. Yes, they need to go, but you need to go as well. Because, all of that need for perfectionism, or that beliefs that you carry with, it comes from somewhere. So you also have to be able to let go of that as well.
Okay. And your book, Journey to Growth,
yes.
What was the inspiration behind that? Why was the reason you wrote that one?
So, I always wanted to pen down all of the tools that I've, from my journey that I've learned. I wanted to always pen it down and have it into a book form where a lot of people, maybe for whatever reasons, they're unable to come, for therapy or do sessions or whatever it is, that they have something there that can maybe assist them. So something like a permanent form where they're able to be able to understand, there are certain tools or certain strategies that can help them. And also to also realize that, I wanted to use, I do believe that each and every one of us, we have a story. And our story is meant to be told, right? And we don't know who it can help. So it was that inspiration that that guided me to write this book. And then with it also, like, to also get people to understand that, healing is not a quick fix, but it is simple. So I wanted to keep it simple so people can be consistent and committed, and inshallah, that can bring the change that we need in today's society.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could change the mindset, one mindset of the entire world, what would you change?
Oh, the mindset of the entire world. Sure. I think I would want to I think I would want to change it from, we thrive on drama.
Yes,
I think
do.
a lot of us thrive on drama and that negativity. So I would want to change that. Yeah, I think I see that a lot. Maybe also, yes, you were saying the whole world with social media and everything that's going on. I think it's important to see things as they are, not worse than they are.
Yeah.
So I feel what happens is we tend to make mountains out of molehills, and And if we have that mindset of, okay, you know what, you don't have to listen to all of that negativity, or you don't have to listen to the media, all of the things that they are saying, but see things as they are, not worse than they are, which means, yes, so I would want people to embrace a positive mindset, but I do understand there is a thing as toxic positivity. Like, we can't ignore the things that are happening. Yes. I mean, if you look at South Africa, there are certain things that are happening, but it's not as bad as what your mind is making it. So I think it's important that we need to start taking control of our minds and stand guard at the door of our minds, so we don't have to take on all of that, things, feed our minds, all of the things that we don't need to feed. So yeah, that I think is the mindset I would like to change, is for people to stand guard at the door of their mind and see things as they are, not worse than they are. So that, inshallah, will, help you, because that's going to then create the shift to actually make a change. But when we're stuck in that negativity, you're just basically sitting here, you can't do anything. Yeah. All you're doing is complaining. So, they say then you become either a moaner or groaner, yes, or then you a mover and shaker. So when we change our mindset, then we become movers and shakers, instead of just sitting on the couch and being a moaner and groaner and complaining and not making a change.
That's an interesting perspective. Who is your greatest support system, or when you feel stuck, who is the person you go to be mentored?
Okay, so the person that I go to be mentored is my teacher and my mentor. Yes, yeah. I did mention, Abba Fatima Luna. She's the one, when I started this journey, I definitely will always go back to her. Okay. Definitely. But I must also I'm grateful also for my husband, who has been also a really great support in my journey. Mm-hmm. So he's also there. And I'm, alhamdulillah, I must say, I do have a good support system. It's a small support, but it's a really good support that really does, help me in situations or where I also need to be assisted and things like that. I'm grateful for that support system that we have.
And if you have to de-stress, what is it that you do?
If I have to de-stress, if I have to de-stress, what do I do is, if it's like, so every day what I do actually to de-stress is I do love to meditate, make zikr. That is my go-to. Breathing, exercise. I love to go to the gym. That really helps me out as well. Okay. That's the things that I do to de-stress. But also, most importantly, what I realize for myself is when I am stressed is because when I'm not present. I'm not in the present moment. So just that shift to get myself back in the present and to understand, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. It's like if it's like something in the past, or it was a future, it's no use me stressing about it. So just getting my mind back into that present moment, that automatically just creates a shift for me.
Just grounding yourself.
Grounding. Yes.
Okay. So your dream job was to be a TV host.
Yeah, so not so much TV, but yeah, in radio. I don't know. I think I like to talk too much.
How does it feel to be a guest?
Oh, it feels amazing. And I must say, it's actually the first time I'm actually like doing this in person, because the other interviews or even my own thing I do, it's actually like online.
Yeah.
So, I was quite excited but nervous as well to be here.
Twist of fate. Okay?
Yeah, but it feels good, alhamdulillah.
That's good. To close today, what would your words of wisdom be from a personal experience and a professional opinion to anyone struggling with anxiety, depression? What would your closing words of wisdom be?
All right, if somebody is struggling with anxiety or with depression, I firstly want them to know that they're not alone, that there is help, there is support. And, I did mention to you that we had a workshop called the Resilient Muslimah in Pretoria. And the reason why we actually started it, the purpose behind it, was to create a sisterhood and to actually let people know that there is a support, because I do believe we have to support each other. We shouldn't be in competition with each other. We need to have that support, definitely, so that there is that support. They don't have to do this alone. And they like what you seek is seeking you. So if you're looking for that, you're going to find it, inshallah. That's the main thing, is that please do get help. The second thing that I want to say when it comes to anxiety and to depression is that it's so the support, but also it's important to realize that for myself, because this was what I used to feel, is that I used to feel that there's something wrong with me, that I'm never going to be able to get out of it. I want to say to them that actually, yes, there is a way out. Even if everything seems so dark, there's just darkness. You feel like you're just going deeper and deeper into, you drowning. You know what? There is a way out. And I can tell you definitely, whichever way you decide to choose, but there is a way out. You just have to start. Just take that first step, and inshallah, it will become easier for you to be able to get out of that. And in a general, with regards to everyone, I feel every one of us is going through something. We're living in a world where it's like a big red. I thought after COVID things would change, because everything was quiet, but everything's back to normal, and we're all in this rat race. So I think it's really, really important that we have to learn to be present, and also importantly to understand that challenges are going to happen, right? So pain happens, but suffering is a choice. So what does that mean? It means that whatever is happening to you, life is happening for you and not to you. So we just have to understand that whatever is happening is not, Allah Ta'ala actually doesn't want us to suffer. Yeah. Whatever He's doing, the challenges that's happening, it's so that, inshallah, it's for you to grow, it's for you to become a better person. You might not see it now, but it's the story that you're making up in your head. That story happened, but it's the story that you're making up in your head all the time. So just become aware of that, and to know that there are tools, there are strategies, there are ways, and people to assist with that. So if ever you need help, don't feel like you're the only one going through this, because
someone shares your journey.
Someone does share your journey, and there is someone that you can go to and go for help. Firstly, of course, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, and ask Allah ta'ala to guide you to that help that you need.
Thank you so much. That was such beautiful advice. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure having you here.
And I must say to you, Jazakumullah khairan hawa for this opportunity and for being here. And yes, like you say, it's full circle for myself. So I really do appreciate you having me here as well. And I must say, congratulations to you on this podcast and the work that you are doing. I think it's truly amazing.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.